about when you got married.
Okay.
How did you meet Grandma?
In Hornell, New York. I was working up there back in 1949 to 1951, and a friend introduced me to her.
How old were you when you met?
I was 21, she was 19.
What attracted you to each other?
She worked in an ice cream parlor called Elmhurst Dairy Bar, and the milkshakes and the ice cream sort of got to me.
What kind of things did you like to do together?
Swimming, go to movies, and visit at her parents' house.
What do you remember most about the courtship?
Okay, what do I remember most about the courtship? She attended Alfred University, which isn't too far from Hornell, about 12, 13 miles, and Hornell was her hometown. I still lived in Horseheads, and I would drive up on the weekends, generally in the wintertime with snowfall and large amounts of snow around Alfred University, because that's what they call, even now, a snow belt area. And I would get up there, there'd be very little snow in the Horseheads area. I'd get at Alfred, there'd be probably a foot or more. A lot of times, every time I'd go up on the weekend, my car would get stuck in the snow.
When did you decide to get married?
Well, we sort of mutually agreed to do that in, around October 1951.
Can you describe the proposal?
I can't describe it, no. We just, sort of mutually agreed.
What did your parents say?
Okay, they liked her very much. They liked Grandma.
When and where was the wedding?
It was at Hornell, New York, in the United Methodist Church, and the pastor was Reverend Butcher, the Reverend that married us.
How old were each of you then?
I was 22, and she was 21.
What did you wear?
Blue suit. Cost $40.
This was my grandma's wedding dress. My great-grandma Pauline made it for her. What do you remember most about your wedding day?
I remember that after the reception, which was held in the church, we started down the road outside of Hornell on our way to New York City. Got about 3 miles outside of Hornell, my car stopped working. So somehow we got in touch with my then father-in-law, Herb Arnold, and he came out. Anyway, to make a long story short, we ended up driving his car to New York City while mine was left in Hornell for repair.
Who was at your wedding?
Relatives and friends, about 200 people altogether.
Did you go on a honeymoon?
Yes, we did. You want me to tell you about it?
Oh, sure.
Okay. We went to New York City, and we'll take a look at some of the mementos of the trip here in just a moment or so. While in New York City, we stayed at the Hotel Taft, and we also saw the stage play South Pacific, which was in its infancy at that time, 1951, and we also attended many radio programs of that day, ABC radio programs, etc., NBC, and we saw quite a few TV programs. At that time, TV was just getting underway in 1951. We'll take a look at some of the tickets from the shows and the whole thing here in just a second.
This is a souvenir from the Hotel Taft, the bar and tap room, and look at that, dinner from $1.50 with Vincent Lopez, dancingest band in town, luncheon for 75 cents. There's a promotion for a guy by the name of Charlie Drew, soap from the Hotel Taft, left over from 1951. Here's the bill from Hotel Taft. You can see what we paid for 4 or 5 days in New York City, total $41.43. Could you do that now in New York? Kate?
No.
Okay. Hotel Taft napkin and matches from our wedding. Here's some, these are tickets from the radio and TV shows that we attended or had an opportunity to attend. There's November 29th, 1951, or October rather, pardon me, Dennis James Show. Dennis still around these days. Plug for Perry Como here somewhere. Herb Schreiner and Jack McCoy. There's Perry Como. Warren Hall with Strike It Rich, and numerous other tickets there. Look at this. My father sent us a letter while we were on our honeymoon at the Hotel Taft. There's the envelope. And if you'll go to the right, you'll see an application blank for What's My Line, of which I had an opportunity to get backstage. I got that far, almost got on the program. Sat next to one of the leading movie actors of the time, Mason. Trying to think of the guy's first name. James Mason. And also, one other point, my wife was picked to do a commercial on one of the TV or radio programs, a commercial for Prel shampoo, and she did that, and they gave her $5 for being a participant in the commercial.
Where did you first live after you got married?
Victory Heights Housing Project. Here we are in Horseheads. It was erected in 1943 and 1944. It provided homes at that time for 152 families, variously employed in Chemung County, and we lived in Victory Heights, Kate, Mary Jane and myself, from November 1951 to March 1961. Lived at 121 Roosevelt until, you're looking over toward the 121 Roosevelt Avenue apartment, till spring 1953. And then the 124 Roosevelt, which is across the road we'll look at here in a minute, but 123 Roosevelt, that's right on the end apartment there until March 1961. And you see that tree there, the scrub tree? Do you have that in your camera range? Yeah. Okay, that's a tree that your mother and her sister used to climb when they were youngsters when we lived here at Victory Heights. Not too much left of it, is there? No. And, okay, that's, we lived in the upstairs apartment at 121. I don't know if I mentioned that. And 123, we lived in the downstairs apartment. And your mother came up missing when we lived in that apartment when she was a little baby. We looked in the crib and all over, and we thought we looked in the crib and all over, and we thought maybe she had skipped out of the house and gone down to the little creek behind, but eventually we did find her back in her bedroom and in the crib, so that was sort of a scary moment. In a second or so, we'll take a look at the other apartment across the street. Okay, we're on the other side now at 124 Roosevelt Avenue. We lived here until September 1955. That's the downstairs four-room apartment where everything was piled on the kitchen shelf. That was the screws were bolted into the wall back in the kitchen, and flour canisters and so on and so forth. And then one day we came down, or got up rather, came out in the kitchen, and everything the shelf had pulled out of the wall, and you can imagine what fun we had. Hey, the bathtubs were concrete because the units were built during the war, and that was all that was available. There wasn't any porcelain available for tubs at that time. Also, right next door, the 126 apartment upstairs, we had some friends who lived there, and they got a new piano one time, and rather than have piano movers come and help move the piano up the stairs to the second flight, they depended upon a whole bunch of other apartment dwellers, including myself, and we pushed and shoved a heavy, it seemed like 10-ton piano from the first floor up to the second floor, and that was quite a memory, as I recall. Here's a picture postcard of Victory Heights. We'll show you here in a moment. Show you what has occurred since this picture was taken. I don't know, probably late 40s. And we'll take a look at that, and we can notice as we do what's filled in alongside Grand Central Avenue. Burger Kings and Wendy's and so on and so forth, banks, etc.